pull that in. There we go. That's better. That's better. You can hear me. Sorry, bit late, a minute or two late. Not to worry. I think I'll also bring in some sound just here. So I'm just going to bring in a bit of an audio background. There we go. That should be about right. Can you all hear that okay? I've got no way of folding back on this. Say hi to me in the chat if you're here. So just go ahead and just say hi. That would be nice. Hi. Just say hi. I'm going to do some drawing and maybe some dusting away of eraser stuff. Just there, that would work. Let's go ahead and see what we got on here. So, interesting. Da-da-da. Da-da-da. Let's have a quick look. Ooh, here we go. Da-da. Hello. Groovy. Groovy, groovy, groovy. It's my drafting brush. It's kind of handy. What are we up to? 5 on playbacks. Still 1 concurrent viewer. And I don't even know who you are. Oh, wrong bottle. There we are. That didn't work terribly well, did it? I guess really I should go ahead and check out that the audio is coming through because nobody's chatting to me. Yo, Shy. So what I'm going to have to do then is I'm going to have to go to one of my own things in another browser and just have a quick listen just to see if that's coming through all right. So I'll go do that and we'll have a listen, and then we're going to do some drawing. Or when I say we, I actually mean me, of course. That's what I mean. So I'm just going to have a quick look and see. Ads. That'll be why. Cool. So that's fine. So I know you can definitely hear me. So excellent. Well, for the handful of you that have turned off, thank you for making this a worthwhile investment of my time. But I am going to do some drawing. I am, and I don't care. I've been working all day. I had like 4 hours sleep last night. Crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. Let's just have a quick look and see if we can see some tools laid out here. So there's a drafting brush ready to go. This is thanks to Rob saying, can you do some drawing live? You know, it might be nice to see you do some actual drawing. So here's a little tray of Moleskine pencils. That are handy. It's a KUM pencil sharpener, which I'm very, very fond of. Small acrylic ruler, which comes in very, very useful. Okay, I've got a few of these round and about. This one's really nice because it's got some sort of tacky stuff on the back that keeps it away from the board, which anybody who uses rulers will know is essential. Sanding block, putty eraser, okay, other eraser, drafting brush for getting rid of the erasings, all that good stuff. Now, some of this I don't actually need on the desk right now, and space here is at a premium because I've been at work all day. There's Alex. Hey, thanks, Alex. That's very kind. At least I know there is a human on the other end. Nice to have you saying hi. Thank you very much. Good stuff. Okay, so in my sketchbook just here, one of my sketchbooks. This is the thing I was working on that I put on Instagram. This thing just here. These are just doodles that help me to arrive at that. This is the kind of thing we're going to be drawing, and I've already actually scanned this already to use in Illustrator, this one. So this will be the one I actually work with. But Rob was really interested in me showing the process before it gets to these things. So I thought, okay, that I can share. I can let you in on that. That's kind of cool to do. So basically, everything starts, okay, with a small set of ruled lines. So this is kind of like the ground plane here, and then these are spaced evenly. This is where the acrylic ruler comes in, really, really handy. I've got to watch this. I've got cables everywhere. I normally just demo software. I don't have cables and stuff around. So I set it up like so, make some tick marks either side, and then line this up. This gives me some idea of proportion. And then the next thing that happens there is I get a figure in there, some sort of figure. Now, unfortunately, it would have been nice to set this up from the other side, but that's not the way the desk in this particular studio goes. If you follow any of my stuff, you'll know that I've got a couple of studios, and one that's just telling me that the silent alarm is going off. That's because I'm in this building and it's gone 10 o'clock. Excellent. So I've just cancelled that before that becomes a problem. Good stuff. So as you might just be able to see on the preceding page just here, if I go ahead and get a softer pencil, most things start, okay, with a figure like so. So I just draw something that represents a figure like this, and that gives me an idea, along with the ruled lines, of the size that I'm going to be working to. So you'll see that this door here, okay, relates to that figure. The figure would come up to about there on the door. Okay, and these are retractable steps, just here, then the bed and the wheels and all of that good stuff. I haven't quite worked out, I've worked out the inner part of the wheels just here, but I'm still working on the tyres for this particular vehicle, still going with it. For that, not entirely sure where that's going to go. But the idea is that this has a detachable pod at the front here, this particular one. So it's got an evac pod on there. And typically what you would normally do, would just find room for the pencils to go live without knocking everything flying in here. Okay, normally, and I'll just show you further down this page, right, because it's of no consequence, and this is a good chance to use the acrylic ruler for this. Okay, so I'm just going to pop this out like so, and just drop a few marks just on the end here. Just 3 marks will do, 3 centimetre marks just there. And I'll go to the other end. They're not evenly spaced here, so that's not going to work. So what I'll do is I'll just eyeball them just for the purposes of now. Okay, because it's not an actual technical blueprint. So what normally happens is at the same time as you're working on a profile, so if I just use part of that, let's just say I was going ahead here and I was just about to start scratching lines then. It's a terrible way to work on something like this. So let me go ahead and just start making some basic shapes. And I've got no definite plan for this at the moment, but I'm just going to go to a similar shape as the previous one, just there. Let me just keep an eye on the chat stuff. And also the other thing I'm going to excuse myself here is the desk drops off really sharply just there, so I've got nowhere to actually rest my arms. I really am shoehorned into a corner. I'm trying to make the best of it, but this book's kind of heavy, and also the elastic from the book is trapped on the end. There we go, that should be a better experience fighting against me. So at the same time as you would draw something like this, so let's pretend this has got like a hyper elevated chassis on the front of it. Right, so something like that, work out that, and which point becomes a reasonable balance, and then square those out like so. and then use that squaring to kind of just draw roughly the ellipses just there. At the same time as you're doing that, you'd actually be working on the other view of the vehicle at the same time. So this may, for example, become wider. Okay, at the front, like so. I have no idea what kind of canopy that's going to have on it just at the moment, but just roughly. Can you see that all okay? Is that? I know you're working against my hand, and this webcam is constantly trying to focus on that. So there's Hope Ideal. Hi. Yeah, so this one has, so you'd work on parts of this at the same time and try and make sense of the whole shooting match. Now this canopy would pretty much come up to the top there like so, but I'm sure you get the idea, right, that you'd be working like that, just finding the shapes that you want. Now this one, because it's got like this, so the wheels basically come to about this point here, and I think for this they're going to be super fat. These ones really big, fat, chunky wheels. These Moleskine pencils actually have small indicating marks on the side. You can use them as rulers. They're awesome. Or as measures, if not a ruler. Okay, so you do something like this, and it would start. Then you start to make sense of it. So this might have a bowed chassis, like so, with diffs and all of that sort of stuff on there, and try and find the shapes. Now I kind of like what's going on there, so this needs to change just a bit there, like so. Okay, and you can see that I'd work between those two things. Now the cab from this is going to come out way more, so let's use this one as a kind of model for it. So let's do this part here and bring this forward, and it's constantly evolving as it goes. I'm trying to imagine what would it be like inside there. What would be the purpose of this side part? What would happen with that? Why is it there? There has to be some sort of believable element to it. Now I've broken my own rule here and not put the size of an individual down, so I'm going to do that now. I'm going to pretend this is a single person thing. So I draw something like that. 5, 6. I'm going to go 7 heads there. So something like that, just a single shape like that. Okay, and that gives me an idea of how other things are going to work. So I can then say how doors are going to function for that, if any, and start to flesh those things out. So I figure this is like a ramped door. So it's a door that actually works as a ramp. Now, because it does that, it would have to have a fairly strong structure. So it wouldn't have any windows. Okay, so you'd need to have windows before you lowered something like that. So they'll be in the actual body. Just here, of course, you could also have cameras in the top there. We can make cameras so small now. So small. Okay, so I'm using this increasingly as a model, but I don't like that shape anymore. Just there, I'm going to just blunt that off. I want it to be blunter. Yeah, almost like a bird. And I also want the canopy to drop right the way down, so you can see part of the ground from it. Alexandre, hey man, bonne nuit, all of that stuff. all of that stuff. Wow, you're up late in La France, dude. You really are. Where's my trusty KUM pencil sharpener? Because this is, there we are. Here we go. I have one of these things at all of my desks. Everywhere I sit has to have one of these on it. It's a two-function sharpener, okay. The first hole on the left, okay, is basically just shave away the wood to get to that particular point. So it gives me a long point, like so. I don't know how well you can see that. And then the second hole is all about the point, okay, and just sharpens that like so. So you get a good fine point on it, which is really nice. The drafting brush then comes into play to get rid of any of that stuff that's on there. These things are beautiful, and also I use clutch pencils in 2 diameters, and this has holes for both diameters of clutch pencil, which is really nice. Let's just get rid of that stuff from there. Helps not to transfer the grease of the paper. Now I've got a properly sharpened pencil. What I think I might do as well, okay, I'm just going to stop drawing just for a second. I'm still here, still drawing, still talking. I'm actually going to turn on one of the main lights in here, because at the moment I'm just using the studio lights. There we go. So now we've got a bit more illumination on there. That might stop that camera perpetually trying to focus and refocus, and it will make it easier for me to show you things like this. Yay. Yay. Yeah. So I'll just keep working through these and think about the functions in there. Now, a vehicle that works like this, okay, is probably going to need kit for rough terrain, right? And so that means it will need sand mats, chains, that sort of stuff. So those are another of the things I think about, and you'll notice that on this one here, I've got some chains just there. Okay, there's various boxes and things in here, roll out sand mats just there. So, and if you were designing an actual vehicle like this, you'd probably put those things kind of out of the way, but sheltered, so they're not going to get damaged. So I think that's a good place for such a thing. This is going to be another hatch at the back here. Okay, so a larger hatch just there. I think that also deserves some stuff at the top there. Gotta be honest, a bit disappointed Rob didn't turn up. Man. What I might do is I might actually put me, just give me a second. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add me into the mix here. So I'm going to switch scenes. There we go. Hi. Just so you can see me doing the drawings. Well, actually, if I lean forward, you can't see me doing the drawings. So, but it's nice to say hi. If you have any questions, fire them to me, man. Fire them away, or all of that stuff. So, where was I? I was on with accoutrement that you might need on here. So there might be different rolls of kit fastened on sturdily. You might have a whole array of different things. So let's put an array of stuff on there. So we'll put a hatch out. I don't like drawing machines of war. I like drawing vehicles for exploration. Not mad for the whole other thing. Now I just filed away a little bit of the pencil point here just so I can vary that line, and my eyes are really tired today. I've done 9 hours of editing. 9 whole hours of editing with on very little sleep. I was working till 3 in the morning yesterday, so very little sleep, all this. So I'm just glad of your company. You already had a bad oven to make correct circles. Can't even imagine making wheels. Man. Well, most wheels are turned, aren't they? So initially, so they start out as an octagon, which I can't draw just here very easily, at least not in the position I'm in right now. And then as they spin, they get lathed away until they turn into that. Then they're moulded and manufactured. Yeah, man. Here's a little known thing. I had a job I've had loads of different jobs, like loads. Almost always as a side gig, because if any of you are illustrators or designers, you'll be very familiar with the concept of feast or famine. Either all the money comes in or there ain't none. That stuff. So quite often do other side gigs. I've done loads. But when I was 15, I worked for a time in a foundry making foot plates for Ford trucks. So moulding the actual foot plates with gunmetal and aluminium. So that was 1600 degrees Celsius poured into a mould. Aggressive stuff. Very aggressive stuff. Hot. Working with different grades of sand to pack the moulds, and then a pneumatic to go ahead and do that stuff. And I thought, man, the sooner I'm out of here, the better. But, you know, the scope was limited somewhat. So, interesting. With the extra light on it, I see this completely differently up here. So that would need some additional stuff up on there. Let me just find the scan for tonight's main gig. So I'm going to create a new document. You can't see this just at the moment. This is just me talking, of course. Let's go ahead and go to yeah, I got it. Hold on a sec. I just want this on the screen for when I do switch out to Illustrator, because that will be the thing that we'll be doing most of the stuff in. So and then we can work with that. I think we'll just do a bit more scribbling just for a minute. Okay, and then carry on with that. Anyway, so this is how I work it. I go through that, and then I shift up a grade or two of pencil and start to make more definite ideas. So I start to firm up the outline. That's normally the last bit I do. I'm just going to file that pencil down just a shade, just to get the point I like. Cool. Yeah, and just work around then. Just kind of making decisions on what the actual line and silhouette of this might be. And even then, sometimes thinking, do you know what, that would be slightly different there. If I need to get rid of anything, that's where the putty eraser comes in most of the time. That plastic thing, this is like a mallet. But putty, yummy. Yeah, if I need to get rid of anything, in it goes. Putty comes along like so, takes that nasty stuff away. Doesn't leave too much in terms of residue there. And then the drafting brush, just to get rid of that stuff. Just to get rid of it. And actually, seeing as you've been nice enough to come along and join me for a little while this evening, and I appreciate your time and you coming along, I'm going to show you something actually. Hold on a second. This is a thing I'm working on right now. I don't know how well we can see that, but this is in the studio at the moment. If I just lay that down, and I mean, it's Halloween, right? Shock horror, because I was a Halloween toy designer for quite some time. But can you guess what it's for? Now, that drawing is actually at size. Yeah, it's at size. Put it in the chat. Tell me if you know what it is. Tell me. Come on, don't be shy. So, working around here like so, I think that would have a more interesting shape if that came out like so. And then this is where it gets all muddy and all of that sort of stuff. So there's going to be loads of things going on back here. So I don't know how many of you watch when I'm on the things with Adobe Live and all of that stuff, but it's not a secret to most people that I have very lucky to have an amazing reference library. There's more than 1,000 reference books in it, all sorts of things. When I work on projects, I tend to acquire lots of books. So for something like this, I might look at, bizarrely, I might look at marine stuff, because I like the forms of marine vehicles very much. I like the way they are, the fact that they're designed to move around in that liquid medium. There needs to be some gaps under there, like so. I'm doing this really small, which is normally the stuff I do with the pen is small. And then random things pop into my drawings, like this crown. It's just random. I'm kind of finding ideas and lines in there, finding, you know, that this shorthand means something to me. It doesn't mean a lot to a lot of people, but it does mean something to me, right? And but if there's something on TV or something I'm listening to, I just draw it. It just comes out and lands on the paper. Could it be a LinkedIn course? Oh, I don't know. In fact, the brush is like a plug-in software, always used in addition to the usual tool. Yeah. You think you need some sleep? I'm not surprised, man. It's late for you. It's like 11:30. It's nearly bat o'clock. Oh yeah, Adobe 2. I caught you on Adobe Max last year. Oh, cool, Alex. We can catch me again, because I'm on again this year, which is good fun. Max is, for me, the big one. It also signals that the end of the year does approach, and also the workload goes down kind of a bit. So I'm off on this is too small to get into those particular details just there, but I think that should have some kind of stuff there. There we go, making changes now to that. I also think winching equipment might be nice on the back there. I'm going to drop some stuff in. I hope you liked my session last year, Alex. I've got cool stuff coming up for this year. I'm getting to show some new feature stuff, which is exciting. There's going to be no rest for the wicked, because I start work on another course very shortly. Not for LinkedIn this time as well, strangely enough, for another provider. So that's what I need to be there. Right. I need to have some idea of how this is going to work plate-wise. Let's just go with that. Good. Well, it was good up until that point there. So you can see how it works. Carries on pretty much like that. And yeah, for a little while, I'm just going to grab a quick mouthful of something. Hold on. So good. I've got an isotonic drink, which is helping me to keep going. Yeah, so let me just have a quick examination of what I've got here. So this would definitely come out of the side like that. Now just here, that's going to sink back just fractionally. Okay, then there's going to be a profile like that. Quite often I only draw half of this, by the way, unless there's an important detail that I need from it for the other side, or it's asymmetrical. I quite often only draw half, or if I do draw both halves, I tend to draw one slightly different than the other and then just work out, which is not a cop-out, I promise. I'm perfectly capable of doing both, but I like to see, I wonder what would happen if this, because when it gets into Illustrator, then I just draw half and make my way through. Yeah, okay, I think that's fine. It's got a lot of work to do in Illustrator, so I think, given that we've had some drawing. Oh no, Alexander's gone. I think he's gone to bedtime. Oh, it was great. Always get to learn a lot every time I watch any of your courses or sessions. Oh, thank you, Matt. Thank you. Thank you. Right, okay, so this is the one we're doing. So if I can just get through to my Stream Deck, which is behind the book. There we go. I'll just pop these things away. And I'm going to go to demo with the cam. There we are, yay. And I can turn around a bit, which would be nice. I can now put that safely out of the way. I've just got to gather this stuff up first. Because at weekends, at the place I get most of my ideas done at weekends, right, is in the kitchen when I get up. I've got a lovely kitchen that's got really, really good light. And sit in there and work for a bit. Very happy place. Very happy. So, which is good. Okay. So let me know in the chat how many of you are Illustrator users, what level you reckon you're at, and what kind of things you do. I'm happy to hear stuff like that. It's fine also to be shy. You don't have to chat to me. I've just realised that where I've put my face is underneath the. Oh man, I'm going to fix that right now. I am going to fix that right now. Let me just go ahead and make a change just here. Where shall I go? I think I'll go up here. There we go. That's or just down here in the corner. I don't think I do much down there. That is fine. Hold on just a second and I'll be with you. I'll be away from underneath the badge there. So funny. I'm going to level with you. I put the scenes and everything together today because I've been so busy. There we are. Right, okay, I'm just going to push that now. There we go. Can't believe I was stuck underneath that badge. Man, it has been a long day. Right then. So, in Illustrator, this is how this stuff begins once I've got the sketch. Now, I'm going to show you a couple of things first of all. So I should have a fairly recent blueprint drawing just here. Here you are, the DB lifter. Ooh. Yeah, let's go for the DB lifter first of all. So this is a tracked mechanical lifter. And this one, it's got some nice little details in it. Okay, I'll talk about some of those in a second. Yeah, man. Alexandra, there's some good stuff, and some stuff's getting fixed up real good. You're an intermediate user, mostly a complement of cartography and random visualization work. Nice. Nice. Oh, you've probably watched my infographics courses then, and my Esri Maps for Creative Cloud course. Probably. So good, that stuff. The guy who founded Esri and still the head honcho is Jack Dangermond, right? And I prefer Illustrator 2, man. And he is amazing. He still cycles to work every day. He has lunch with employees. He'll wander up to any table and just ask if they mind if he sits with them. And he will sit there and genuinely chat to them just about stuff. And this guy's like a multi-billionaire. Yeah, they'll just chat to them about stuff. Now that's a way to lead, I think. What a way to lead an organisation, right? To chat to people like that, and to be human with them. You know, he is lovely, absolutely lovely. And he funds, him and his wife fund a nature reserve in Santa Barbara, which is really nice because I hang around in that area a little bit. I think that's fair to say. Right, so this is the DB Lifter. Now, I'm going to go into the DB Lifter here because I'm a big fan of linked files. Okay, and this is a linked file. So what I'm going to do is Option double click on that, which takes me out to the file. Now you may think, well, where's it gone? It's just a blank thing. If I go into outline mode, however, you can see it's all there. Everything's there. Okay, so why can't you see it? Well, I'll show you. Okay, because I want it to be white on the actual blueprint, it's all done with one simple thing. It sounds like one of those things you find on your Instagram feed. This one simple thing. Horse crap. It's a global color swatch. So here's the thing. If I double click on that global color swatch and change the definition of it, and if I turn preview on, I can see everything. Yeah. So that's how it works. Right. So everything using that, and you can see all of the different things that are using it. And that's how it works. So I can work on it while I'm seeing it with all of the line weights and everything like that, all of the different stroke attributes, right? But it just makes it easy. I'm just going to cancel that, like so. So it's a linked file. And Alex is saying, I watched them both. So excited seeing you work with ArcGIS maps for Adobe Creative Cloud. Man, so am I. And I love those people, the people that work there that I've worked with. I also one of the teams sadly passed on a couple of years ago, just when my Esri Maps course came out, and he didn't get to see it come out. Unfortunately, it's very, very sad. Annika's here. Hey, yeah, this is me. This is me off hours. This is me doing whatever I like. There you go. It's Friday night as well, so hey ho. Just for people who've just joined, not beer. I don't drink alcohol. You can see, if you can read German, alcohol free. Yeah, it's just an isotonic drink, and it's helping to keep me going. And it tastes nice. It tastes a bit beer-like, but without all the other stuff. I've been quit drinking for a couple of years, and man, it's one of the best things I've ever done. Anyway, back to this particular thing. So where this begins, I actually have a template. Okay, it's an AIT, and it gives me a new blueprint every time, like this, right? So I can work and add things to the blueprints. I was going to show you the dreadnought. Let me show you the dreadnought. Okay, because people like this one. Okay, so the dreadnought is actually having some work done on it at the moment. If I hide the guides just here, let's zoom in. and have a look at that. So the idea for this one, okay, is what would have happened if it would have been the empirical British that founded the Starfleet well, it wouldn't be the Starfleet Federation, it would be the whatever of British horse crapness. You know, you get the idea, right? But what would happen if it was like that? I mean, I don't think it would be a very philanthropic thing, the Federation. I think it would be much more like the Klingons if it was British. Don't get me wrong, I'm not denouncing my own nation. You know, I'm quite happy to be British. I just wish that we do something slightly better, especially at the moment. But yeah, that's the where this came from. Okay, so it was used in one of my tutorials. So it's the RSS, the Royal Spaceship 1966 HMS Dreadnought. So it'd be his or her Majesty's spacecraft from there. And of course, I went a bit overboard on it, and I thought, okay, so what does the detachable saucer section look like? Vaguely, Jurassic shell thing is what I was thinking of. For some reason, I was thinking of the Jurassic Coast in the UK when I was doing it. So oh, thanks, Annika. Yeah. So it's got a deflector dish there, deflector on the main shell there, on the saucer section. And then here, look, this is the level of things I thought about this. So these are the ratcheting clamps, okay, which would allow it to dock. So 5-point docking on there. These, and of course, it would have some form sideways, which is stuff I'm drawing at the moment. So I'm working on the nacelles. There, all of these things come to bits, so you can actually disassemble the whole thing, and it's still a work in progress, so still going on. Okay, so there's that. I don't need to save that. It's the one I'm working on now. Let me just see if there's another one here that's been open recently. No. Interestingly enough, Alex, from the infographics course, this is there. There you go. That's I do like a bit of Star Trek, has to be said. Yeah. Again, not a secret. But this was one of the ones from the infographics course. I had that out because I was just doing a revisit on it. Docking is always hard. I agree. I agree. It is. Right, so let's get on with the main thing. So what I've got here is I've got a layer there with this placed graphic on it. Okay, so simple scan just there. I'm going to introduce a new layer. I don't know why, but I don't like red in my stacking order. I don't know why I don't like it, but I just don't like it. So the next layer in the progression order in Illustrator, I so wish I could change it, is red, right? So you start out with a blue layer, next one, red. So if I add a new layer, okay, Command L, right, red. I'm going to undo that. So I want to add a layer that's going to be red, but I want it at the bottom of the stack. So how do I do that? Well, here's the answer, just in case you want to know. You hold down Shift and you tap D. And what that does is it changes the drawing mode to draw behind. Yeah? And that includes creating a layer, which Illustrator deals with as a drawing operation. Right? I am going to draw a new layer. So if I now do Command L, you'll see it comes in underneath the current layer, which is sometimes useful. Now you imagine if I was doing this at normal speed when I was working, I'd just do Shift D, Command L, Shift D, right, to go back to draw normal mode. Yeah, much quicker than creating a new layer and dragging it down underneath the other one. Right, that's how you get shit done. Okay, right, so I'm going to use the proxy here to drag this down onto this layer. I'm going to double click the layer in the region between the meatball and the name. Okay, I'll call this one trace, just there, and turn that into a template. which is going to dim the images. I'll tell you what I didn't do was check that this was level. So I'm going to do that now. So I'm going to get my rulers in, and I'm going to bring down a ruler like so. I'm going to try and bring down a ruler. Oh, I can't, the layer's locked. There we go. Just do that again, this time with feeling. Is that close enough? Oh yeah, man, that's bang on. Wow, that actually is. That is unusual. Oh no, it's not bang on, but it's close enough. Close enough for today. That'll do. I actually have a tool that could level that out for me on here. It's one of the ones from Astute Graphics. But hey ho. I'll be using tons of their stuff shortly. So I'm going to lock that layer. This one I'm going to call draw. Just there. Next thing I need to do. Okay, and again I have templates for this, but I thought, you know, it's the point of me being here is to share some of this stuff. So this is how it works. When you tap D in Illustrator, that sets the default, okay, which is white with a 1-point stroke. Let's test that out. Let's draw a rectangle. Okay, there we are. White fill, black 1-point stroke around. Doesn't have to go away. Right? It's a document specific thing. So if you want to change it at the application level, you'll have to change it all of the templates that Illustrator uses, or build your own template. Simple as that. So how do you write it? Well, I want a fill there at all. So what I'm going to do is hit the slash key to get rid of that fill. Now I'm going to do a little bit of work with it, and actually I'm going to round off some corners, and I'm also going to cut a couple of bits away, like so. Okay, so I'm just going to get that section. Open path, like so. Right. The reason for this will become apparent soon. And I'm just going to target this corner here, okay, and make some changes to that. So I'm just using the corner options. Hopefully you can see that. Let me zoom in. God, I love trackpads so much. What I want to do now is I want to change the width of the stroke. So I'm going to make that an even number, so 4. Okay, like so. So that's fine. Do I want it to be black? No. So what I want to do is create a new swatch for it. Now, this is one of the rare occasions where I actually use the Photoshop-like interface to create this color. So I double click here to get to the color picker. Templates are really handy, I agree. Also, 160 certifications. Yeah, man. Actually, yeah. I nearly broke myself doing one of those, I've got to be honest. Yeah, crazy. There was a guy who was more certified than me. His name was Ted, and I had to beat him. And I had to become, and I was briefly, the most certified instructor, Adobe instructor on the planet. I have no idea if anybody's overtaken me, and I don't care. I don't even. They created a qualification that was just for me. It's not big and it's not clever, but it does give me a very impressive folder to walk around with. That's all I can say. And of course, gives me tons of knowledge, so I like that. So I'm going to choose a range here. Blue is a good range, I think. Okay, and what I'm going to do is go down to near black, but I want just a little bit of blue in it, so it's not absolutely black. Okay, so I'm going to hit OK. Now I've mixed that color. I'm then going to go ahead and create a color swatch, okay, based on that. So create new swatch. Okay, so this is going to be my drawing swatch. This is going to be global. If you saw the bit a moment ago when I was showing how the linked file thing works and how I can change that really quickly, this is how it happens. Okay, so global is the way that happens. Just a couple more bits to do now. So if I go ahead and actually go to the stroke here, I would like it to have round end caps, and I would also like it to have rounded joins, like so. Okay, so both of those things should have happened, okay, on this object just here. But there's only one way to find out, and that's to go ahead and have a look. So yeah, that join looks pretty rounded to me. There we go, it's got a nice round elbow. Let's go for this end. There's a round end cap. And I think that is pretty much it. Okay, yeah, that's pretty much the way I want to do it. So how do I make it default? So I can just tap D, okay, to do it. And the answer, okay, is I go to the graphic styles panel. I'm just going to get rid of the things that I don't want in here, which is pretty much everything. Okay, just get rid of those. So yeah, I want to get rid of those. That's why I clicked on the trash can. This one can't be deleted because it's the definition for default. I can then go ahead and option drag that on top of that one, okay, or alt drag if you're on Windows. Okay, that now becomes the new default. So if I give this, I don't know, a yellow fill, and let's go for a super magenta super fat stroke like that. And let's say I was drawing something like that. I don't know exactly what I'm drawing. It looks vaguely porn-like to me, but there you go, which is something I wouldn't draw. Okay, so if I do that and tap D, boof, that is now exactly the way I want that to be. Okay, so exactly how I want it to be. So all I need to do when I'm drawing something, even if I've selected something else or brought something in from another illustration, which I do, I use many components of many different things to help me build. Okay, and that's it. That's now sorted. So that's probably a good chance to save this. I am going to save this on my machine. Actually, I'll drop this into this scans folder at the moment. This is Sci-Fi MPV. There we go. That will do. Groovy. Okay. Woo! Got a saved document. The world is a good place. And it's a matter of starting to draw. So I think what I'm going to do first is conquer the outline. And Alex saw the graphic styles thing coming only because I remember your tips on using symbols. Tom, you know, that stuff makes you efficient, right? And efficiency, especially if you work for yourself, is an important thing. Yeah. It's your geometry teachers, right? Like sounding like a 1970s geometry teacher. Otherwise, Alex, it's your own time you're wasting. You know, but it is. It really is. If you're doing this stuff for the love of doing it, you're an artist, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? It's a good thing, yeah. But you're an artist. If you're doing graphic design, illustration is a business, yeah. You're there to make a living, and if you want to spend 9 hours drawing something that I could do in an hour, yeah, or you may be able to do in half an hour. I don't know. You may be like mega skilled by now, right? Then I know which of us is going to be the happiest, right? Get the stuff done. And it also gives you time to think about what you've done as well. Not in a like, I want you to go and think about what you've done way, but it's sort of, is this the best job I could have done? Is there anything I want to change before I present it? All of that stuff. Those efficiencies are gold. Absolute gold. But right, so now the decision I need to make here is what tool I'm going to use to draw this. Sometimes I use primitive shapes, sometimes I use the pen tool, sometimes I use other things. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Inkscribe for Astute Graphics, and I hope you're not averse to the to me using the words Astute Graphics a lot, because I use their tools all the time. In fact, I couldn't work at the speed I work at without them, if I'm being truthful in that. So the Inkscribe tool is their version or their answer to the pen tool. And so you can work around like so. So at the moment I'm drawing straight points. I've got this little HUD here that pops up. You don't have to have that there, you can dismiss it, but it's actually so useful. Right, and I'm going to just make some determinations like this. Let's go up there and up there and across like that. Now again, I can change anything. I'm just going to work my way through. The hardest part with any project, right, is getting the things started in the first place. Right, it's those first steps There's all of that stuff where they say, like, every journey begins with a single step. It's actually true, very true. But it's making those initial marks, getting over that fear of where do I begin? What if it all goes wrong? Because sometimes it does. Now, just to decode what I'm doing here, right? I am looking for the maximum of certain things. I'm not worried about plotting curves just yet, okay, at all. Great thing about this thing is if you want, you can just move all of this stuff so flexible. Okay, whoops a daisy. That's the second time. You can tell it's been a long day. That's the second time I've done that moved light so I think I'll zoom in just a bit closer. There we go. Oh man, disconnected from it. There we are. So just plotting my way through. By the way, if you've just joined, people, come along, say hi in the chat. It's, it's nice to talk to people. I like it. I like it very much. Now, this particular point here is something I might need to fix with symmetry, but for now I'm going to go with it. Okay, I'm just going to plot out a bit there. I might also discover something that I didn't know about this vehicle. Remember, this is a work of fiction. Yeah, it's not third time I've done that. Okay, it's not an actual thing. Well, maybe it could be. Who knows? All right. So just plotting my way around there. Now I'm going to make a decision here to actually pitch downwards and do this sort of whole rear axle thing. Just there. I'm actually going to go there and then I'm going to bring that one down just a shade. Oh man, I went in the wrong direction. I forgot about that. And I drew that specifically. So what I'm going to do is just come out on there and do that and then reposition there like so. Oh, hey, Mr. Linney in Texas. Hey. Oh, and Alexandra's back with a coffee. Nice one. I had coffee, but it's all gone. Empty. Replaced with isotonic, alcohol-free thing. Love watching After Hours, Tony Harmon. Do you stream on your YouTube often? Actually, this is the first time I've streamed on here in absolutely ages. Because it's just been so busy. But, if I get enough uptake on it, then I will stream more often. That's the thing. You don't want to do them. It's pointless doing them and having like 4 people and a cat turn up. It's just, it's not the right gig, is it? Right, so I have an outline just there. Now I'm going to work on refining it because you might be thinking, well, they're all straight lines, but some of your lines are curved. And that's where this tool is amazing because you can just bend stuff out. All right, you've still got all of these handles. You might just be seeing these brief flashes, the letter C. Can you see that? Tells me that it's created a corner point just there. Now, if I bend something and it's smooth, it will tell me it's creating a smooth point, but I do actually want some of these to have corners. These are all things that you can control in this panel here. Loads and loads of different stuff there. Okay, and let me go to, I'm not seeing ghost handles. I should be seeing ghost handles on there, although I used to ghost handles. Anyway, not to worry too much at the minute. But I can just, whoops a daisy. Oh man, that's the third time I've done that today. I'm missing my space bar. It's because I moved everything over so that I could fit that sketchbook on my desk. Oh well, hey ho. That bit's there is fine. That bit there is fine. I'm going to stick with that bit just there. This bit, I'm not going to curve that too much just yet. And the other great thing here, right, is that this is one tool, right? Not switching out, picking up a different tool or any of that stuff. Here's some ghost handles for you. There we go. And this one needs to come out just a bit, and that one needs to be sort of a corner cusp there. This is a big curve. Let's try and get that to conform to where I need it to go after this, which is going to be just down here. Now, although I ought to speak to Nick about doing these things, this one's got an S above it, which means it's a smooth point. So Nick from Astute Graphics, I ought to talk to him and just say, look, I'm planning on doing these things. Throw me a bit of sponsorship dollars. I'm sure he would. But I actually don't. And he would tell you as well that while they offer me their tools for free, right? They do. They offer me their tools for free, just, because I'm a friend of Astute. And when I was at Adobe, I visited them when nobody from Adobe had done that before, visited them and hung out with them and all of that stuff, and I did. But they offer it for me for free, and I decline. I say, no, it's like 120 quid a year for all of these tools. There's like 20 tools in there now. 120 quid. Yeah. So a tenner a month. Yeah. And that's including tax. Well, actually, it's gone up slightly just recently. We have to for R&D, but that's the but yeah, it makes me more money, yeah, than doing it. And that way I can say in all honesty, right, that I'm not influenced by them giving me stuff. I'm doing it because I genuinely, oh man, I've got to rearrange this desk. Hold on a second, because I'm keep on hitting that in there. What have we got here? You bring me a French special coffee. Thank you, man. Stephen. Hey, Stephen. We met at IPEX a few years back with my Illustrator. Also. Yeah. Yeah, Dana. I remember very well. Hey. Nice. Nice. I hope you're doing well. You and Hamish, right? I hope you're doing good. Hope it's all going well. Dana is an amazing product. If any of you are in packaging, and you're interested in exploring packaging automation with Illustrator, man, oh man, oh man, you should see their product. Absolutely insane. Really, really crazy. I didn't get invited back to IPEX anymore, Stephen. I think it was because of the whole leaving Adobe thing. That was the, they only wanted for me my big red A. Make of that what you will. Law. Oh dear. All right, Axelville, that's fine. I'm going to make decisions based on that one later. I do want to move that one up though. I'm going to bend that one out a bit. I think that would curved just there. These ones can have their angles. They can have their angles and keep them. Yeah, that's good. I'm going to bring that one in. That's going to have a bent handle. Now I don't like this this angle just here. That's too bendy. Now I can switch to the direct selection tool and pull that out like so to take the bend out of it. Actually, it's not doing too bad a job there. All right, but I've got another tool that I'm going to show you in a little bit that I use for corners. Okay, and surprise, surprise, it comes from Astute Graphics. But there you go. But they've got a particular thing that I love. I use it in so many different things. So many. And you might also notice that I've got a custom toolbar here in the middle. So I've got a couple of custom array of panels. Okay, I've got a little custom toolbar just here. Okay, mainly with Astute Graphics things in it, but it's also got the tools that I use, such as the rectangular grid, polar grid that I use that don't have shortcut keys. And I don't like long pressing on stuff to get to tools. Yeah. And all of that stuff, but that's how I get to those things. We're going well, my friend. Meeting you was the highlight of our show. We're still going strong, man. I'll visit you at some point. You're in Was it? It wasn't Harrogate, was it? But it's North Yorkshire, I think, if I remember correctly. Do you reckon this tool from Astute makes less or more points when compared to the pen tool? Well, I mean, I'm plotting them, so I'm determining how many points are made there. That's the thing. It's me that's determining where they go. I do, on a lot of things, run an optimization, okay, afterwards. And even when I use the curvature pen tool, I'm still plotting stuff. But I will run an optimization. But trust me, those are pretty much. There's very few I could get rid of there, I think. Could always try. The So this is Vector First Aid, okay, uh, from Astute Graphics. Anything that's got color and that crown in there, right, is from from Astute Graphics. This one is for their point optimization. Super smart. Um, I'm going to try it. I'm going to give it a hit. For the tolerance, I'm going to give it a tolerance of 10, and I want it to protect sharp corners. Okay. It did actually remove 6 points, you know. Maybe my plotting's not what it once was. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. Right, so working through that, that's kind of good for that thing. Now I need to build in some of the other structures. I also need to do a little bit of alignment here with some of the points. Yeah, mate, I will do. I will, Stephen, I will. I'll go out and reach out. Yeah, yeah. Be lovely to come and see you all. So, direct selection tool, I am going to pick up this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. And by that, I mean the points that I'm clicking on. I'm then going to align them all to the top, and all aligned to the top of the last one that I clicked on. That's not bad, actually. They're pretty much there. I'm going to target these two. Actually, I'll do this on purpose. I'll go for that one, then that one. Let's get those aligned, because I kind of want those to be, well, do you know what? I've also got to get these two lined up. There. There we go. You see there's some adjustment required in that. I think the line tool will work just as well here as any tool. There we are. Okay, and it's giving me, now I've got a choice to make here, because I don't think that these are part of that body, so I'm going to align those to the top, and then I'm going to bring them up so it's clear it's part of another structure. Just there. Let's go ahead and do that. Anything else that needs to go to that? No, that's all good. I don't think we're going to get the whole thing done in the next 20 minutes. So that what this means is, should I park this one for a day or two, and once I get to like 11:30, should I park this one for a day or two and do another live stream with it on, or what? You'll have to let me know. Now, let's make some more decisions about some of this stuff. So what I'm going to do here is, looking at that, I'm going to draw this one with a rectangle, at least to start off with, right, because I want to show you that tool here. Right, I'm not going to use the native corners. I'm going to use Astute Graphics dynamic corners. Let's zoom in. Okay, so I can pull a corner out like so. Right, you might be thinking, well, why didn't you use the native one for that? Well, because the native one doesn't give me 3 options. Right? So standard, which is pretty much the same as theirs. True radius, okay, so that's one that their engineers have worked out and is better. Or squircular. Now look at squircular. See that? You think about the iOS icons, right, on an iPhone or an iPad, sat there, and they're not truly square. They kind of slope into squareness, and you can see just a slight hint of an angle there, and oh, love it, love it, love it so much. I can then just come around and click on the others, or I can modify individual ones there. Now this should actually lean a little bit forward, so it's not meant to be dead parallel. So what I'm going to do is just undo that a second to get back to this corner. In my enthusiasm to show you, whoops a daisy. So I'm going to pull this one back away, like so, and then pull this one forward just a tad until I get to there we are. And then get both of those and move those forward. Nice. Now I'm going to go ahead and give it some squircularness, like that. Squircles are the best. They absolutely are. Perhaps another part. It's quite late and you need the sleep too. Man, I do. I think I mentioned several times at the beginning that I was working last night till 3 a.m. and I was back up this morning and I've done 9 hours editing. And actually, even when I finish here, I've got to do a first pass sound edit on, well, not a sound edit, sound mastering on a video, and that's got to go up tonight, so it probably won't be a super late one. I don't really need anything else from those things. I just put a rectangle on there for craps and giggles, but I could perhaps make something out of this last one here. That needs a much steeper angle, so I'll go for, oops a daisy, I've got a bit over keen on my keyboard there, and just there, just for the minute. Let's go ahead and squircularize that. Boom. Oh, you've got to love it. It's so sci-fi. Then I'm going to switch to my scissors. I'm actually going to snip that at that particular point there, and I'm going to snip that just a bit further on there. Okay, and then pick up that bit and get rid of it for now. So let's just delete that bit. Then this bit here is kind of another structure that finishes around about there. I'm going to plot that out with a line, like so, so around about there. Now this one here, I'm going to actually complete that. So for that, I'm going to use the extend path tool, like that. You can see how easy that was just to extend that particular path. A bit of Illustrator nativeness, I think, is going to happen in a second now. I'm actually going to draw that line with the Illustrator native tools. My little lines underneath helping me just there. Shift C to get to the anchor point tool. Let's bend that out. I think that is kind of an interesting shape. Not sure if it's exactly the shape I'm after. No, I might pull this back a bit and have at it again, or have at the handles again. Yeah, that's closer to what I want, I think. Something like that. Let's deselect all of that stuff. Let's go for a bit of join tool goodness. So I could try, actually I'll try the native join tool for that. Let's go ahead and use that. And there we are. Just pop that across. Yeah, there you go. There we are. Nice. That works pretty well. That's good. I've got some bits to borrow there from that. Now this is definitely a squircular door, but look how tight I was when I drew that. There's a candidate for squirculars. So let's go ahead and get that door in there. Wow, that is well on the wonk. And I'd like to say it's because of the angle of that hull. It's not. So I'm just going to pull that one in. Look at that, great shape. Apply that to the whole lot. That's nice. Now I'm going to offset that. So I want a couple of offsets in there. So I'm going to use the AG offset. Let's pull that in like so. Use my arrows here to kind of change the easing between the two and bring them back in because I want a seal just there. Okay, that's good the way it is. Let's just zoom in on that. Now I think that's one place where the weight will change. just there. So they then need to determine my next line weight. So I'm going to expand that appearance. So for expanding appearance, I've actually applied the shortcut Command 9 to it. There it is, just there, expand appearance. I attached Command 9 to it. So notice that didn't have anything assigned to it, which is good. Let's normalize squirculation. Squirculation. Yes, let's do that. Let's make it that. Make it so. That's Star Trekkiness for you. So that's another group. But what I'm going to do is my original outside line is 4 points. So the next weight down is going to be half of that, 2 points, and then the next weight down is going to be just over that. So 0.75 is going to be too narrow. It's going to have to be 1. Now, so I might determine something different for that later on. This one here, I'm actually going to run that again because I can construct more of this like so. Let's just change the E here and also the count. I just want 1 just there. Okay, that's kind of good, I reckon. Now, I've got these controls so I can go ahead and deal with that separately if I want to. Interesting. Interesting. I wonder why that's. I wonder why that's off. Oh, no, that's very, very interesting. Okay. There'll be a reason for it. Anyway, Command 9 just to outline that again and ungroup it. Okay. It's going to be a bit more on the squircularness just to get the shape of it. And let's apply that to the whole thing. Then I'm going to divide that up a little bit. So I think what I'll do here is double click on that to go into isolation mode. Then I am going to draw some rectangles here temporarily. So that one just there. I also want another one just there. Okay, and another one just there, lined up with that one, and then one just across there like so. That's pretty cool. That will work. Okay, then I am going to select all 3 of those like that and reflect them, okay, across the center just there. Okay, Option Return to apply that quickly. Okay, and then from there it becomes a shape builder operation, so Shift M to get to that. Pretty much universally nuke, get rid of the whole lot just there, so get rid of those, brilliant. All I was after was those shapes on the inside just there, which I can then go and tame again with the corners. So just bring this one in just a bit and apply that to that corner there. This one maybe to a lesser degree. That will work there and there and there. And what about the inner corner? Wouldn't have any sharps if it was a reverse molding, right? If it came out of there, there'd be no sharps on it at all. And there. In fact, I'm going to do that all the way around those. I can't apply this as selection because all already on. I overcooked that one just a little bit. So, any preferred day for me to do another stream? If you want me to do another stream, any day you'd really like or not really like? Let's have another go with that. Okay. So I happen to have lost that center. So what I can do is, there's a few different ways I could do it. I could draw a shape like so. There we go. Then I've got a center to work to, so I can grab this one, find that center, reflect it, boof. Well, it's just a temporary kind of thing. There we go, that's handy. Now I've got to do this bit just here. Oh man, I'm going to keep that shape actually. Normally I have an anchor point that I refer things to, right? So I place an anchor point at the center. It's not doing any harm. It's in the middle of a path. Oh, you've got to go. Oh, sorry, Alexandra. Well, bonne nuit. You know, have sweet rev, all the stuff. Do you like my franglais? Nice, right? Sweet rev. Oh man, I'm not well. Right, let's pull that one in. Can you see how this is identifying all the dynamic corners? Have a lovely weekend, Alexandre. Any day it works for you. Definitely not a Monday night. No, 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 no. No, not on a school night. No, 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 no. No. I concur, good sir. Ah, there we are. Back to the corners. The corners really, that's the thing with stuff like this. Well, it's getting those things right. This also has an elliptical port just there. There we go. And the added advantage here, of course, is that I've automatically got this as part of a group, because it is, because I'm in isolation mode. So when I come out, all of that stuff. Oh, actually, it wasn't group; it was a path. Anyway, that's no biggie. From there, it matters not. It's not going to be portable. So let's have a look at where we are with that. So that's working out all right, I think. It's going to take a little while. So I'll recreate for you these steel ropes here, and I'll work on the tires. I'll build a couple of bits up in between, so you've got a little bit more eye candy to look at there. But I think, yeah, I think just keep an eye on the channel. Make sure you're subscribed, and I'll post something in the week. Probably next weekend. I might even do a sort of a mega marathon one next weekend, because I can. Yeah, that would be kind of interesting. Might do that. Yeah, 90 minutes is good right now though, because oh man, it's been a long day. Long. Let's do a quick update save on this. I'm just going to plant more of these portals in. I just say so I'm going to target this stroke because I want it to have that weight. Let's go ahead and get one of those in like so. Boof, with the squircles. Squircles alone, I get my money back out of this application just on squircles. I don't need to do anything else. They just carry on giving me the squircles. What about, here's the thing. What about if I wanted this to look like an architect rendering? What about that? Or a designer's rendering with all the extra projection lines and all of that stuff. There we go. Normally, if this had more than one of these, but more than two of these, I'd turn this into a symbol and draw those parts there. But there we are. Nice. It's shaping up pretty good already. I think that's working pretty well. And don't forget, take in some of the other content on the channel too. Okay, so find stuff that you like on there and have a look. Let me know. Some new stuff coming up. We're just waiting on pushing anything pre-recorded out. There is pre-recorded stuff to come out, but we're just waiting on it because we've got some new live action stuff to go into it as well. So actually from Studio B, my other studio, if you watch me on Adobe Live, you know that sometimes I'm on from the library studio, that's this one. Sometimes I'm on from Studio A, rarely, because there's other people in there doing their work. Chloe and Abby, mainly Chloe, and sometimes from Studio B. Yeah, because Studio B is so cool. There you are. I'm glad you caught this as well, Anna. Thank you very much for getting involved in the chat. It's lovely to see familiar faces. Some people I've met in person, but people from the world of Adobe Live. That's really nice. I love it. Thank you very, very much. So yes, but for now, I think we're kind of done for today. Sadly, I mean, I would go on, but I don't think it would be very, very wise right now, because I've got to get that video over to the US. Got to. So thanks very much for joining. I've just realised now that I've got no, I didn't even prepare an end screen, so it's just going to drop. I think what I'll do is, I don't know how many of you would remember, well, you probably wouldn't remember, would have seen the old 80s series Police Squad with Leslie Nielsen, and what they did was everybody just stood still, so they might be pouring coffee, but whereas everybody was acting like it was a freeze frame, coffee would still be pouring out of the jug while they're doing it. Maybe I'll do that while the stream's closing out. I'm not going to pour any liquid in here, right? Maybe that would be a fun thing to do. It will be patently obvious that it's not a freeze frame, but I think I'll end on that particular way. Oh, Piotr's here. Hi, Piotr. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not there till Sunday, man. But I'm not there till Sunday afternoon because I'm on Monday and Tuesday. We're talking about the photography show here, but it'll be lovely to see you. Let me know if you're on a stand there. And it's been learning Illustrator just a little over a month now. I wanted to say thanks for the course. Oh, fantastic. Thank you. I hope it's going really, really well. And the main thing to do is keep at it, keep practicing, keep learning new techniques, try them out, find the things that work for you. So that's the thing. So I'm going to close out on my fake freeze frame. Right, I'm going to with my Erdinger alcohol-free isotonic drink. I'm going to hopefully you'll still see liquid coming out of it, but I'll pretend it's a freeze frame with with whatever. But have a lovely weekend. Keep an eye on the channel and my other places, right, so that you'll know when the second part of this stream is happening. Thanks, everybody. Take care.